Some childhood wounds don't show up as memories, they show up as habits. The way you apologize, the way you overwork, the way you stay quiet, the way you accept less than you deserve. And most people don't even realize it, because sometimes what hurt you as a child doesn't stay in childhood. It becomes the way you live. So if you do these 5 things as an adult, your childhood may still be affecting you more than you think. Sign 1. You apologize for everything. Even when you did nothing wrong, you say sorry for asking questions, sorry for talking too much, sorry for crying, sorry for needing time, sorry for needing help, sorry for existing too loudly, and after a while, it becomes automatic. You don't even notice it anymore, but other people do. Because you're always shrinking yourself, always softening yourself, always trying not to be too much. Why does this happen? Because many children grow up feeling like a burden, like their feelings are too big, like their needs are annoying, like their presence causes problems. So they learn something dangerous very early. If I make myself smaller, I'll be easier to love. And that child often becomes an adult who keeps apologizing just for being human.
Excuse me? I have a small question, sorry.
Let me ask you something. Do you say sorry when you're hurt? Do you say sorry when someone else made you uncomfortable? Do you say sorry before you even say what you feel? That's not just a habit. Sometimes that is childhood survival still speaking. And healing starts here. Start noticing where you apologize when no apology is needed. Replace sorry with truth. Not sorry for bothering you, but do you have a minute? Not sorry, this is probably stupid, but I want to ask something. Not sorry for being emotional, but this mattered to me. Healing does not always begin with a big breakthrough. Sometimes it begins when you stop apologizing for taking up space. Sign 2. You feel guilty when you rest. The moment you slow down, you feel like you should be doing something. You sit down and your mind starts racing. You take a break and guilt shows up. You try to relax, but it feels wrong. Rest feels lazy. Stillness feels uncomfortable. Doing nothing feels unsafe. So even when you're tired, you keep going. You stay productive, you stay useful, you stay busy. Because deep down, rest does not feel earned. This often starts in childhood when you had to grow up too fast. Maybe you had to be strong early. Maybe you had to help too much. Maybe you were praised for being mature, quiet, useful, responsible. So your brain made a connection. My value comes from what I do, not from who I am. And now, even as an adult, you don't just want to rest, you need permission to rest. So let me ask you, do you feel bad when you're not being productive? Do you struggle to enjoy rest without feeling guilty? Do you feel like slowing down means falling behind? That doesn't come from nowhere. Sometimes it comes from a childhood where being useful felt safer than just being a child. And healing starts here. Remind yourself that rest is not a reward, it is a need. You do not have to earn rest by breaking yourself first. You do not have to collapse before you are allowed to stop. A powerful sentence to remember is this: my worth is not measured by how exhausted I am, because healing is not only learning how to work, it is learning how to stop without shame. Sign 3, you struggle to ask for help. You carry everything alone, even when you're overwhelmed, even when you're exhausted, even when you clearly need support. You tell yourself, I'll handle it. It's fine. I don't want to bother anyone. I'll figure it out myself. And maybe people think you're strong because of that, but sometimes that kind of strength comes from pain, because many people who struggle to ask for help learned very early that help was unreliable. Maybe no one came, maybe no one noticed, maybe asking made things worse. Maybe your needs were ignored, mocked, minimized, or turned against you. So your nervous system learned needing people is risky. Depending on people is dangerous. It's safer to do everything alone. And that child often becomes an adult who looks independent on the outside, but feels deeply alone on the inside. Let me ask you honestly, do you wait until you're falling apart before saying you need help? Do you comfort everyone else, but hide your own pain? Do you secretly wish someone would notice without you having to ask? That pattern is painful because it teaches you how to survive alone, but not how to feel supported. And healing starts here. Start asking for help in small ways. Not all at once, not dramatically, just honestly. I'm having a hard day. Can you help me with this? I don't want to carry this alone. I need support right now. Because healing is not becoming someone who needs nothing. Healing is learning that safe support exists and that your needs do not make you weak. Sign 4, you are too hard on yourself and never feel like you're enough. No matter how much you do, it still feels like it's not enough. You achieve something and your mind moves the goalpost. You work hard and still feel behind. You give your best and still focus on what you missed. You can be kind to everyone else, but with yourself, you are brutal. You replay mistakes, you overthink small things, you hold yourself to impossible standards, and even when people praise you, it rarely lands. Why? Because many children grow up chasing love through performance. When love, attention, praise, or approval feel unstable, a child often learns this. Maybe if I do better, I'll be loved better. Maybe if I'm perfect, I'll be safe. Maybe if I never fail, I won't be rejected. So they become adults who live under constant inner pressure, always trying, always fixing, always proving, always feeling behind. Let me ask you, do you feel like nothing you do is ever fully enough? Do you talk to yourself in a way you would never talk to someone you love? Do you feel like you have to earn love, rest, or softness? That voice in your head may sound like you now, but it did not start with you. And healing starts here. Pay attention to your inner voice, not just what it says, but how it says it. Would you speak to a child that way? Would you speak to someone you love that way? Try replacing pressure with truth. Not, I'm failing, but I'm learning. Not, I should be doing more, but I'm doing what I can right now. Not, I'm never enough, but I do not have to be perfect to be worthy. Healing begins when your inner voice becomes a safe place to land, not another place to be punished. Sign 5. You accept too little from other people. You accept cold behavior, mixed signals, late replies, lack of effort, lack of care, bare minimum love. You get crumbs and try to call it enough. You get inconsistency and call it normal. You get ignored, dismissed, forgotten, overlooked, and still wonder, maybe I'm asking for too much. That thought breaks a lot of people because very often, people who received little love in childhood grow up thinking little love is what love looks like. If care was inconsistent, you learned inconsistency. If affection was rare, you learned to survive on rare affection. If attention came in crumbs, you learned how to be grateful for crumbs. So now, as an adult, you may keep choosing people who give you just enough to keep you hoping, but never enough to make you feel safe. Let me ask you something hard. Do you accept things from others that you know deeply you do not deserve? Do you stay in situations that make you feel lonely, unseen, or emotionally starved? Do you keep calling it love just because it is familiar? Familiar does not always mean healthy. Sometimes familiar just means old. And healing starts here. Stop asking, am I asking for too much? Start asking, why does basic care feel like too much to ask for? That question changes everything, because healing is not learning how to beg better. It is learning that love should not feel like chasing, guessing, shrinking, or starving. Real care feels clear. Real care feels safe. Real care does not make you question your worth every day. So how do you start healing? If these 5 signs felt personal, that does not mean you are broken. It means something in you adapted. A younger version of you learned how to survive by staying small, useful, quiet, independent, perfect, and easy to ignore. That helped you then, but now it may be hurting you. So healing begins when you stop shaming the pattern and start understanding it. Here is where healing starts. 1. Notice the pattern without judging yourself. Not, why am I like this? But this pattern protected me once. That alone changes the tone, because shame keeps wounds hidden. Understanding begins to loosen them. 2. Give yourself what you needed earlier. The apology you never should have carried. The rest you were not allowed to take. The support you were afraid to ask for. The kindness you were denied. The love that was never supposed to be earned. A lot of healing is relearning this. My needs are not a problem. My feelings are not too much. I am allowed to take up space. 3. Stop calling survival personality. You are not just too sensitive. You are not just bad at resting. You are not just independent. You are not just hard on yourself. Sometimes those are wounds with good manners, and when you finally see them clearly, you stop blaming yourself for bleeding in places no one ever helped you heal. A lot of adults are still living by rules they learned as children. Don't ask for too much. Don't rest too much. Don't need too much. Don't feel too much. Don't expect too much. And then they wonder why life feels heavy. But the truth is, you were never too much. You were just taught to survive in places where your needs were treated like a problem. So maybe healing starts here. You stop apologizing for your existence. You rest without guilt. You ask for help sooner, you speak to yourself with more kindness, and you stop accepting half love just because it feels familiar. Because your childhood may explain you, but it does not have to keep controlling you. If this felt personal, send it to someone who says, "I'm fine," but is caring too much. And comment below which one hit you the hardest: 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. And if you've been enjoying our videos, don't forget to subscribe and leave a like. It's free. Watch our next video, which will appear on your screen. See you soon.